Hey, how's it going? Jack here with the last buzzword of the year. It's the fall 2022 pop culture and sports week 13. Last time, final call. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Get your points and see what you can see where you end up. I'm just hoping I can get 10 out of 10 out of one of these here because it's been tough sledding. But there's usually some recent pop music that trips me up. But this is Buzzword, and as a reminder for how Buzzword works, it is a simulation of toss-ups from Quiz Bowl, the trivia format. So the clues are going to go from more obscure to more well-known, and the sooner I buzz in and get it right, the more points I get. With this, I'm just trying to get as many points as possible, see if I can knock off one of my bad scores, and bump me up the leaderboard. The only way to start is with question 1. First name or surname, that means they're probably in TV or movies. So let's see which one it is.
This celebrity was depicted applying a tourniquet and shouting, "Save the liver," in a 1978 SNL sketch starring Dan Aykroyd.
Save the
David
liver.
Hyde Pierce plays her husband Paul in an HBO Max show named for this TV host. For 10 points, what American graduate of Le Cordon Bleu hosted the PBS show The French Show?
Huh. That's some deep Julia Child stuff that I did not know. But The Joy of French Cooking. Or The French Chef? No, it's The Joy of Cooking. No, The Joy of Cooking is somebody else. It was her and two other ladies. Might just be called The Fresh Chef. I don't remember. But 1 out of 1. Let's keep going.
In the 2020 Mr. Peanut's funeral ad, this mascot's tears cause a baby Mr. Peanut to grow. In a recurring Family Guy joke, this mascot appears after characters yell, "Oh no." Crashing in and yelling, "Oh yeah," is the signature.
Oh, the Kool-Aid Man. I didn't. So I was loosely familiar with the Mr. Peanut ad. God, who does he save? I think like Wesley Snipes is in that commercial. It was just a bizarre Super Bowl thing. But now like the commercials are playing off their own. Like, oh, what if we put it on its head, right? We'll turn it on its head and we'll kill our mascot. And then immediately bring him back to life with the healing powers of the Kool-Aid Man.
The absence of this country artist's late father is the subject of the title song of his 2016 album, You Should Be Here. He describes a karaoke singer who is a 90s country fan like I am in a 2022 hit that interpolates a Jody Messina song. For 10 points, who sang She Had Me at Heads Carolina.
Never heard of that. Cole Swindell? It just sounds like a country artist random name generator. All right, well, we were never going to get that. Ever. So we'll just take our hits and hope we can get through the rest of one. Give a first name. Jason.
This character at first insists on using the name Astrid for a youth who prefers to be called Axel. After destroying the Necro sword, he adopts a girl named Love and gives her Stormbreaker.
Okay. I don't really get what they need the first name for. Like, they didn't want to give Odin's son, because, like, technically, Odin's son refers to a more specific character than... Because Odin's son is the specifically the Chris Hemsworth version of Thor, while Jane Foster would be the mighty Thor. Anyway, we got our points.
In 2021, this TV network briefly revived the 90s Nickelodeon game show Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh.
Stage magicians appear in this network's shows Masters of Illusion and Penn and Teller Fool Us. For 10 points, name this network that airs DC superhero shows such as
Was it CW? Okay. I didn't realize it had a magic theme behind it. Fool Us, hosted by How I Met Your Mother alum Allison Hannigan, I believe. That's fine. I didn't realize how magic involved they were.
In this musical, a young woman's corpse hangs from a noose to conclude her Hungarian rope trick.
The Mishnik. Oops. It's from the Cell Block Tango. Do they call her the Mushnik? They call her the Mushnik? That's the only thing? She's the only one that gets executed because she only speaks Hungarian and can't defend herself while all the other ladies can get away with it. It's Pop Squish Sis, or Pop Squish 6 Cicero Lipschitz. That's the Cell Block Tango.
A year after releasing a multi-platinum album, this artist sang Uninvited for the film City of Angels. One of this singer's songs says she is here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away.
Yeah, I'm uninvited. Yep. That song gets kind of lost in the weeds with the Goo Goo Dolls' Iris off of the City of Angels soundtrack, but middle name of Nadine, Alanis Morissette. I spelled it right, too. Your answer should contain 3 words or an abbreviation of those words. So, like DVD? We're not in sports, so it's not anybody that you would do that. What other 3? It could be video game. Dead by Daylight? Nah, there's no way you would abbreviate that to anything else. Let's just find out.
A 2022 game with this subtitle introduces El Sin Nombre, the leader of the Las Almas cartel. In a 2009 game with this subtitle, an undercover CIA
Warface. Yeah, I guess MF2 is a way to abbreviate that. Yeah, it's just the boring Call of Duty thing. I think I played Modern Warfare 2 the first time around. There's literally 2 games that you could refer to as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Which is dumb. But I think God of War did that too. Like technically the 2016 or the 2018. The 2018 God of War is just called God of War. It's not God of War 4 or anything. They gotta get better with the titles, folks.
In this film, Lester Townsend is impersonated by the spy Philip Van Damme. After the protagonist of this film meets Eve Kendall on a train, he is attacked by a crop duster.
That's a crop duster in the middle of that clue seems odd. Let's say perhaps the most famous thing. I'd say ending on Mount Rushmore is less well known than the crop dusting scene in North by Northwest. But, oh well, I'll take the points.
The creators of this character argued that Hodori, the 1988 Olympics mascot, was too similar to him. This current mascot of the Sun Bowl was voiced by Thurl Ravenscroft.
No. I'll take Thurl Ravenscroft. That's two. There were two ad campaign characters in that. There's Kool-Aid Man and Tony the Tiger, but we'll end on Thurl Ravenscroft to end with a pretty solid score. I think that'll improve. 129. It's great. It's not great, but the joke was right there. All right, let's head over to sports. Hey, sports. Start right off with college sports, my strong suit.
Before a 1976 game against this school, Notre Dame grew out its field's grass to slow a Heisman-winning back. This school lost 9 games in 5 years under coach Jackie Sherrill. Tony Dorsett and Dan Marino starred at
where did
for 10
Marino go
points,
to?
what school that plays the Keystone Classic against Penn State?
Okay. Keystone, huh? Pennsylvania, huh? Dan Marino went to Pitt. All right, well, answered.
This player worked with Cobra to develop length irons, clubs that are all 37.5 inches long. He averaged 325 yards off the tee in a 6-stroke win.
Yeah, they're talking about a long driving golf player right now. It's got to be DeChambeau. All right, not so bad so far. Back to teams, probably baseball.
In 2018, this team's first baseman battled the Angels' Jaime Barria in a record 21-pitch at-bat. In 2021, this team's catcher, who sat out the COVID-shortened...
It's got to be the Giants then, because Brandon Belt had that 21. I should have went in on Brandon Belt. I thought somebody else beat it, though. No, that was in spring training. Somebody had a longer at-bat. But yeah, Brandon Belt had a 21 pitch at bat, and then my guy Buster Posey, who I had on my fantasy team for almost the entirety of his career, decided to sit out the COVID season because he had babies at home, and cannot argue with him on that.
Since 2004, the president of this sports U.S. association has been Hall of Fame player Chris Middlebrook. Sweden and Russia are hotbeds of this sport, played with 11 by 7 foot goals on a roughly 300 by 200 foot sheet of ice. For 10 points, what 11-a-side sport is very similar to ice hockey?
It's not on ice, though. Bandy. Yeah, bandy. Oh, yeah, I forgot about bandy. Yep. I think they use a ball instead of a puck. Yeah, that's a good thing to ask about, bandy. That's a good question.
This big man was the top scorer on the first NBA team to win 20 games in a row. In his second year, he won MVP and led a 3-year-old expansion franchise to the 19...
It's got to be Shaq. Oh, Kareem. Okay. Figured there's going to be Shaq. No, Shaq took the Magic to the finals in his first season. Oh well. Sorry, Kareem. I thought it was somebody else.
This man swapped bibs with Karani James after placing last in a 400-meter Olympic semifinal. He ran in the 2012 Olympics after the IAAF lost a dispute over his use of the flex foot cheetah. In 2013, Riva Steenkamp was shot and killed by...
Oh. Oop. Alright. I only had an extraneous O in there, so I think they're going to give me that one. But yeah, it's Oscar Pistorius, the probably the most famous and infamous Paralympian. Back to teams. So we had that. Could be back to football, so probably NFL?
This team allowed an opposing back to break Demaryius Thomas's Super Bowl receptions record. Robert Elford had an 82-yard pick six for this team in the first Super Bowl to go to overtime, which this team lost on a...
Yep. 28-3. If you want to make Atlanta cry, you just say 28-3. Yeah. That's a crazy game. I can't say anything that hasn't been said about that game.
This head coach won Game 1 of an NBA Finals by 15 after his home arena's air conditioning broke. This coach's team took Games 4 and 5 to win that Finals after he replaced starter Thiago Splitter with Boris Diaw. 2014.
I think Thiago Splitter, I think he was on the Spurs. They'll give me that one. Popovich, they'll give me that one. They'll give me that one. That's pop. Should just put pop.
In 2019, two clubs from this country met in a major international final in the 119th and 120th playing of the Regio-Montano rivalry. This country's Clásico Capitalino rivalry is contested between America and a club known as UNAM, or Pumas. For 10 points, what country's Big Four clubs play in Liga MX?
And it was just Mexico. It was Mexico the whole time. It was Mexico the whole time. Oh, it was Mexico the whole time. I should have just went in. All right, Buzzword. This is how you're gonna end the year, making me name a year in the 20th century. All right, I like that they, because I'm a little of a pedant when it comes to years, and people want to just say, like, on the name a decade, and people say the 60s. You mean the 1960s? The 1860s? The 2060s? All right, ending with a year. I don't even know where they're going to go with this. Probably maybe 94 for the strike year?
During this MLB season, a league-wide rabbit ball led to Wade Boggs hitting 24 homers, 13 more than his next best season. In this season's World Series, Frank Viola won.
Right. Oh, that was it was the wrong. They said Frank Viola, and I immediately assumed it was the 91 series, but it was the 87 series that the Twins won. Well, that's a unfortunate way. Doomed by knowledge there. When they said Frank Viola, and I answered 91. The other year that my baseball team won the World Series. Oh well. Well, that's going to be it for this season of the pop culture and sports. I'm glad it's back, but I have to say I would rather have 50 question sessions rather than the 10 question sessions. I know they probably got more people playing. They definitely have more people playing because it was cheaper this time around. But when you have a bad week, when there's only 10 questions, you feel like you lose so much. And I want 3 video game questions a session. Let's be honest. So that's it for this season. Should have more videos on the channel with academic stuff, and hopefully the next pop culture season, whatever form it is in. If you want to try the next season yourself, you can head to naqt.com/buzzword and check out what sort of games I got going. So that'll be it for me. Thanks, folks.